Hello. We are here with another MysticSense Live. I'm Katerina, and I'm going to be doing the live readings tonight. I have a few different decks, and I'm ready to go as soon as you all are. But I did want to acknowledge this is our first ever YouTube Live for MysticSense. Trying out a different platform, you know? So let's see how this goes. I'm pretty excited. I'm a huge fan of YouTube myself. And hi, Casper. Welcome to the live. I have quite a few decks here tonight. I have traditional tarot. I have angel answers for some quick yes and no's. And I have a collection of love decks, because I know that love readings are very popular with everyone. I'm good, Casper. How are you? Hello, Heather. So I am waiting for our dear moderator from MysticSense to get on. But until then, I would like to do a quick cleansing. And if you have any questions, you can start typing them into the chat now. What's nice about being early adopters of us doing our lives on YouTube is much better chance of getting a reading. And if we don't have too many people that join, you might even get multiple readings. So please feel free to start typing in any questions that you have for me. We can do love readings, spiritual life coaching if you have a specific question, messages from your spirit guides. We can connect to loved ones who have passed if you are looking for a message or believe they have a message for you. Very open to the types of questions that you have. The only thing that we're not doing tonight in general on MysticSense is anything that's really specifically health related, although we can talk about emotions. So Heather says, is the man that I've been thinking of and had reading done on before actually the one for me? So Heather, I'm not sure if you've had a reading done on this man with me before. I don't tend to retain information for past readings, but that's good context to put your question into so that the universe knows who you are exactly asking about. So yeah, let's find out. Is a man that I've been thinking of and had readings done on before actually the one for me? Is Heather's question. I'm new. Okay, good to know. So we'll use tarot. And I'm also going to use, if we have time, I'm going to use an angel romance deck, which you may or may not be familiar with. So I'll pull a couple cards from that as well. All right, so for Heather, who's this man the one for her? Who's this man the one for her? Okay, Heather. So there's the tarot, and I'm going to just lay down a couple from Angel Romance as well. And if anyone else has any questions, just type them into the chat. That's how this works. Do my best to go in order. These are free readings. They're not necessarily guaranteed, but because we don't have a ton of audience over here, it's a little bit more quiet with our first YouTube Live. There's a really good chance you're going to get a reading. So don't be shy and just type in any question that you have into the chat. All right, Heather. I'm going to pull out just two cards here from the Angel Romance deck. All right, Heather. So what I'm seeing here is that he's not necessarily the man for you long term, but it looks like you are enjoying this connection a lot. So it's less a Mr. like right and more of a Mr. right now, which I assume is not what you were hoping I would say, but I've seen worse news if you want to compare it to other, readings that we could have. So I did a you, me, we, and what I see for you is that you're very patient in this connection. You have a lot of hope that there is something like really meaningful there. You've invested or continue to invest time in him, but you're just like waiting for something to come together. For him, we have the Two of Cups reversed. So there's something about this connection that he's not quite feeling long term. But what I also did pull was a chemistry and deception card. So he might be misguiding you a little bit in terms of his actual feelings. And then the connection card, so for the two of you, it got the devil. And when the devil shows up in a love reading, it typically does show that there's like a very strong carnal connection. There's a lot of like sexual energy that's going on here. So you might have really good, like I said, chemistry, but and enjoy that, But when it comes to like your emotional investment into this relationship long term, there really isn't a lot of soulmate promised in this reading with this man. I would love to know if that resonates with you, Heather, if it's in line with maybe what some other of the psychics have told you. And if you have any clarifying questions, I'm happy also to help with that. All right, so Casper, I see your question. My boyfriend and I are taking a break. Is this temporary? Okay, let's see. We'll use the same decks that I just used, Heather, the tarot, and also the Angel Romance deck. Casper and Casper's boyfriend. If you hear that meowing, I do have a cat. Her name is Camilla. She's very chatty. And she likes to talk a lot, especially on my lives. So don't be disturbed by her speaking. So Casper wants to know, is this relationship just on a break? Is it just temporary? One more quick shuffle here. Casper says I have cats too. They talk a lot because my cat speaks so much. All right, so now we're going to shuffle the Angel Romance cards and see what we got here. Got a couple cards with this. Heather, if you're still here, let me know if anything that I said resonated or if you have any other questions. My reading with you is opposite what the other readings were, so now I'm even more confused. All right. That's not fun when you see that. When you say it's the opposite, do you mean like they definitely said he was the one for you? Okay. So for Casper. Hi, Kathy. I see your question. I'll get to you next. Okay. Okay, so I do have a clarifying question for you, Casper. Are you really broken up, or was it positioned as like just a break? And I know that's sort of a nuanced question, but I ask because I got a card in here that says release your ex. But I'm not getting this energy that the ex to release is him necessarily. It could be a past relationship that's interfering with this one continuing. So I'd love to know what the real condition is surrounding that relationship. You say you're not sure. Okay. So for you, for him, I pulled the Ace of Cups. So he's definitely emotional about what's going on. And then for you, I got the 10 of Cups reversed, which also shows sadness. And then when it comes to we, I got the 3 of Pentacles reversed, which just show like disconnection, like you're definitely drawn apart. But when it comes to the Angel Oracle cards, I got Release Your Ex and Forgiving and Learning. So what I'm getting here is that it has not been decided yet whether or not you are going to come together again. Your energies are still kind of working themselves out, and there is an opportunity for your will to impact this. I'm really not getting a like hard no or a hard yes. It's very much like a maybe. It really comes down to whether or not you're able to forgive each other and learn from the reasons why you're separated. And I think that if you're able to figure that out, the charged emotions that you're both carrying around this can be resolved. But if you don't grow and learn from the reasons why you're separated, there's a good chance that you can't come together again because you haven't moved past or learned the lessons that you need to learn. So I know you came for a clear-cut answer, but a lot of times the energy is really decided by us with our free will on what's actually going to happen. And in your case, it looks like the energy is malleable. So it's up to you to decide really what you want to do. Will you learn these lessons and find it within your heart to forgive each other, forgive yourself? That could also be a big part of it. So I understand. I'll take that as a cue to just stop talking about it. Okay, so Kathy is next. Can I expect good or bad changes in my financial status? All right, Kathy. We'll look at, since you didn't give me like a time frame, I assume you're really concerned about immediate. So let's look at the next, you're welcome, Casper. So let's look at the next, 3 or 4 months and just see if there's anything kind of like changing when it comes to your finances from that perspective. So looking at Kathy and good or bad changes in her financial status. So Kathy, good or bad changes in her financial status. Okay, Kathy. All right, Kathy. So what I pulled here, what I see is like some good news coming through, but what I am seeing, because I pulled a card for you, and what I have for you is the Ace of Pentacles reversed. So what this shows is you feel like money is falling out of your hands. You're very worried and concerned about money, which is, a natural thing, because that is what you're asking about. But what I am seeing in the card is that you do have some like anxious and nervous energy around the money, and you're really like, you're grasping at these coins and you feel like they're just not going to like fall into your hands. But the good news is that they are. And the way for you to help make that happen in the next 3 to 4 months is to use your intuition when it comes to money matters and decisions. And if you do lean into like your feminine energy and your intuition about which direction should I go in order to like make money come to me, attract money, make money, you're going to do really well, because I have the Queen of Wands for your outcome. So over the next 3 or 4 months, just really focus on listening to yourself in order to increase your financial wealth, and it's going to go really well for you. But you got to listen to your intuition. Now we have Sistina Solo. Hello, Sistina. So Heather, I do want to go back to your point about getting a different reading. Sometimes when you ask the same question over and over again, the spirit will get a little bit aggravated. So if you have asked that question a lot in like this super recent past, it just shows that you're not putting faith into the universe and into yourself and into the answers that you're getting. So it's a possibility sometimes for us to get different answers when we're anxious about the question. But I do want to validate like why maybe you're asking a lot. It's natural to want to ask those types of questions over and over again. But when you get really clear answers, it's best to accept that for what it is, and then maybe ask it again after a good amount of time has passed and you have a reason to question it. So I hope that's helpful. It doesn't add confusion, but that's my best advice for repetitive questions to psychics. That makes sense. Thanks. You're welcome. Okay, so Stina says, hello, Katerina. Will my finances get better in 2020 and 21? Also, will I come into a windfall? All right, let's see. I might be a little silly here, but I'm actually not quite sure what you mean by will I come into a windfall? I don't know what that terminology means. So I would love to get some clarity on that because for some reason it's not syncing, that term is not syncing for me. But I'll ask the first half of your question and then let me know what the second half means and I'll modify. So Stina, will my finances get better in 2020 and 2021? I'm going to do a similar layout that I just did for Kathy. So pulling out a card for you and then pulling out like some actions and then an outcome. All right, Stina. All right, Stina. So the card I have for you is the Nine of Swords reversed. So it does show that 2020 has been a very difficult year for you. You've probably spent a lot of time reflecting on some of the challenges that you've been getting, and they've been very emotionally difficult for you. But when the card is reversed, it does show that we're rising out of that state, that that the sadness and the heaviness that we're feeling is being somewhat lifted, and you're responsible for yourself of getting you out of that place to a degree. So I'm very happy for you, Stina, that you've kind of taken control a little bit of some of your circumstances and you're moderating your emotions to try and get through some of these challenges that you're facing. So what I'm seeing here immediately is that some of the financial challenges are going to remain, but the energy is short. So I got the Ace of Wands, and what's great about aces, even when they're reversed, is that the energy is only temporary. It's just a matter of your will to break through the challenges that you have. So what I have here as well is the Hermit. And what the Hermit is kind of like spending time alone, being reflective, seeking wisdom. And as you're coming out of this stage of being very sad, and there's a difference between like being sad and keeping to ourselves, and then like using the energy of the Hermit, which is a very like wise man or a wise person to solve our problems. So what tarot is telling you to do in order to defeat some of these financial challenges you have is to lean into the wisdom of the elders around you, but also spend some time contemplating the options that you have and picking the one that makes the most sense for you by curating your own internal wisdom, but also using the wisdom of those around you that you trust. And it's only a matter of time before you're able to flip your money issues around, okay? So use your wisdom in order to determine what are the right opportunities for you, and talk to friends as well. Maitland, hello. Will my kids, Dad, Douglas, and I ever get back together? Thanks in advance. All right, Maitland, let's see what's going on with the kids, Dad, and you. I'm going to use another deck here. Christina says, thank you. You're welcome. We're also going to use messages of love. Let's try hidden truth as well. So these are some oracle decks that I've recently got, and I really like them. I think they're helpful for love questions especially. So let's see what's going on. Maitland and the kid's dad. Will they get back together? All right, Maitland. It's 9:21. Sorry, 8:21. We're using 3 decks for your questions. I don't have any other questions backed up, so we can spend a little time on this with some different tools, which is always fun. All right, Madeline. Or Madeline. Probably Madeline, not Madeline. All right, so Madeline, we're going to do a card for you, card for him, and some messages. All right, Madeline, what I'm seeing here. So your kid's dad, I have here a King of Swords for him. So he's definitely the type of person who's very cutting. He's very direct. He's to the point. For you, I have the Magician reversed. So it does show someone who is giving up their power a little bit to circumstances. So you want him back, but you feel like you don't really have the power to make that happen. It's really up to him. It's his decision. And then for the outcome, I got the 7 of Cups, and that's the choice card. So there's lots of options of where this could go. But based on the way that this looks, I think the choice is really up to him. And that's not answering your question. I get that. But what I'm seeing here, I got some clarity from the oracle cards, and for right now, I got acceptance and strictly sexual. So the acceptance card is talking about accepting the situation as it is right now, and the strictly sexual shows that he is interested in you, but I don't think that he is willing or emotionally capable of having a meaningful relationship with you right now. I got some hidden messages, and what they say is finding out the truth crushed me, and I left you before you could leave me. So what this is showing me is a man who is not emotionally mature enough for a meaningful relationship with you. It doesn't mean he can't get there eventually, but right now it's not the best place for your heart to sit. It would be advised for you to open yourself up to opportunities with other men and just focus on co-parenting with him at this time. It just doesn't seem like he is able to handle it. And he might just play with your emotions, not quite intentionally, but he's just not capable of meaningful emotional connection with you. But he is open to a sexual relationship. So if that would make you happy right now, it's an option, but it's not going to be that deep emotional connection that I'm sure you're looking for with him. All right, Darshna is next. Am I meant to be with my guy? Let's find out. Am I meant to be with my guy? Second. All right, just a quick sip of wine. All right, Darshana Patel. Am I meant to be with my guy? I'm going to use the Angel Romance card. This one too. Thank you very much. On point, says Madeline. You're welcome. I'm happy that it was helpful. I want to tell everybody yes when they ask me these questions, but you know, I don't decide what messages come through. It's your guides. Those of you who are asking me questions, it's really your guides and spirit that I'm talking to and pulling these messages down from. All right, Darshana, am I meant to be with my guy? Let's see. So I'm going to pull a Yumi Lee, which is what I've been doing for the other love questions, and I'm going to pull out a couple cards from the Angel Romance deck as well. Not sure if everyone's seeing it in the chat, but our moderator did say that if you have another question, feel free to ask. It is quiet tonight. It's kind of nice. Feels good to be an early adopter of another platform, doesn't it? All right, so Darshana. Ooh, Darshana. Okay. So Darshana, I have an interesting reading here. Because the tarot cards are showing there is a lot of confusion in your relationship right now. I see there's some tension, and the two of you are very much like interested in keeping this relationship as it is, but there is some like emotional tension that's going on. It's a little negative, right? So he is feeling a bit ungrounded in his finances, and it's affecting his ability to be a really good partner for some reason. And because of this, it's kind of a dovetail into you where you're feeling a little emotionally unfulfilled because his attention is someplace else. So right now, like you're asking this question because you're questioning the connection. But the truth is that you guys are pretty stable. It's just the energy right now that's making you ask that question, because what I had here is the Four of Pentacles, right? So when this comes up, it shows like things staying the same, kind of like grasping onto things and like keeping them consistent. So in this reading, what I'm seeing here is that the tension that you're feeling is just, it's just that it's a passing thing. You have an enduring connection. What I see here in your future is children and engagement. So it's very, very good news about your future connection with him. So yes, he does seem to be a big part of your love story. I would encourage you to continue to work through any kinds of issues that you're having, because the future looks pretty bright when it comes to, you know, a future like really stable relationship. So it looks good. So the next question, Casper. All right, Casper, I have another question. Is there something good that's going to happen regarding my love life, just love in general? Okay. So Casper wants to know, is there something good happening in love? So Casper, for this, I think what I'm going to do, since we have some time and we can like kind of play around, you're a little open-ended, I'm going to look at the next year. And month to month, and let's just see what each month possibly holds for you when it comes to love. And sometimes in these types of spreads, we'll see some like themes or even a narrative come up. So let's just take a look, and maybe there's some really great predictions that we can pull out for your next year in love. Okay. So sounds good to me. Yeah. Okay. of the way so I have some space to lay the cards out. Alrighty, Casper. And Madeline, you're next. So once we get through Casper's spread, we'll catch up on your question. Just one more quick shuffle of tarot cards. Ooh, okay, looks good. And February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. And then I'm going to pull out 4 of these. So basically by quarter, we're going to have a romance card by the quarter, just to add some additional context. Okay, so for Casper and her. Casper, are you a woman? I think you are, but the name isn't clear. And I know you asked about a boyfriend, but obviously it doesn't mean that you're necessarily a woman. All right, Casper. Cool. All right, Casper, things are looking good for you this year, to be honest. All right. All right, Casper. So the beginning of the year, so like January, February, March, there's not a lot going on in terms of like a meaningful love connection. If anything, there might be some instances where things aren't what they seem. So in January, it's not a good month when it comes to love. It's kind of like a stuck month for you. February looks a little bit more perky. And then March looks like there are some things in your love life that you start to finally put to rest. It looks like, to me, there's an old love that probably percolates in the first quarter. So when I say Q1, first quarter, that's my like old marketing side coming out. We tend to talk in like not human language, but the first 3 months of the year, it just looks like it's a little hard, but a good way, because in March we have the death card, and the death is signature of a rebirth. So there is some stuff that you're going to be going through, and you're going to finally let go of it in the first 3 months of the year. And then in the second 3 months, so April, May, and June, things look really fun for you. I got the card Playfulness, and I also got the Sun. So right after the rebirth, the Sun comes out for you, which is beautiful. So it's a really good month for you in terms of April, January, February, March, April. Yes, April's a really good month for you. Do a lot of dating, test the waters, lean into your intuition and enjoy yourself. And then the next couple of months after that, I see some swords coming in, which shows that you're kind of like pressure testing some of the new attitude that you have towards love. And you're like kind of questioning it. You're kind of going back and forth on it. But enjoy it. Don't get stuck in that negativity. Embrace the sun. And then in the third quarter, so we're looking at Jan, Feb, March, April, May, June, July, August, and September is when the love really does come through. You're going to end up meeting somebody in the second half of the year. Very likely, like August time frame looks really promising. I have the 4 of Wands, and as you can see, there's like 2 people connected and they're celebrating. And I got the past life relationship card for you. So that shows that somebody that you've had a connection with in the past, most likely a romantic relationship, is going to be coming forward, and you're going to restart that relationship. I have new love. So you're taking a past life and you're making it into a new love connection. Towards the end of the year, there are going to be some challenges with that relationship, but because I have the new love card, it shows that it's worth it. And we're only looking at, 2021. We're not looking past that, but it looks like the second half of the year is when that new love comes through for you. And looks really promising, and I'm excited for you. Casper and Chalky are my pets' names. Good to know. They're cute names. All right, so we're going back up to Madeline. She says, do you see going back to my old job after recovery, going to a new job? Okay. I like career questions. Madeline wants to know, new job or old job? New job or old job? New job or old job? So I'm going to pull a card for you, and then I'm going to pull a card for new job and old job, because there's a chance that you could have options. All right, Madeline, new job or old job? After she recovers. All right, Madeline. It looks like you don't want to go back to your old job, but the old job is what looks like it's going to work out for you immediately. So new jobs just look like an emotional challenge, whereas the old job, we have the High Priestess. It shows like a really good connection for you. The card that I got for you is the Six of Swords, which shows somebody that has other ideas than what's being predicted. But it looks like your old job is really like the best place for you, whether or not you feel like that right now. So explore that and see why it is that you don't want to go back there. But it's a really good fit for you. A High Priestess in a placement like this is a very strong, positive reinforcement. So it's a really good place for you to be. I wouldn't resist it. And if you do feel resistance, I would try and understand why. Casper says, thank you, I'm excited. Yes, I'm excited for you too. It was a really good reading. Really good predictions. All right, Tracy Winkler, hi. Can you tell me when Ed is moving back and if he is my next relationship? Oh, I wonder where he is. There's Ed. All right, so a when question's hard, because you're asking about specific timing. So, you know what? I do have a deck that does give general time frames. Trying to think about what's best if we do that, or if I just take a look at maybe some broad time frames. You know what? I'll do that. I don't know how long Ed's been gone, and if you're thinking in like weeks, months, or years. So what I'm going to do is pull out 4 cards looking at the season. Looking at 2021 in terms of 3-month increments, just to see when it looks like he might come back. If you're looking for something a little bit sooner or not so broad, just drop me a clarifying question. And is he your next relationship is the following question. So yes, let's take a look at that. So I'm going to pull out timing and then a Yumi Weaver relationship potential. Alrighty. Okay, so in terms of him coming back, I have it looking like it's later in the year, probably in the summertime. So it doesn't look like he's coming back in the beginning of the year because I have some strong no's. So we're looking at the summertime of 2021 of when he would be coming back. In terms of them being your next relationship, there is opportunity for this. It's a matter of whether or not that's what you're planning for. So it's definitely an option. What I have is the Two of Wands, and this is a card of planning and masterminding, like what the next move is. And this is the We card for the two of you. So it is something that you're both thinking about, but individually, what I see here is that he is resistant to some of this. He's just like, he's pausing, he's taking his time. He doesn't feel pressure to make a decision, probably because he either knows consciously or subconsciously how long it's going to be before he comes back, and he may or may not be interested in a long-term relationship. So he's just kind of like standing guard, kind of protecting his heart and protecting his energy a little bit in this when it comes to your relationship. And what I have for you is a Strength card reversed. So you're very invested in this, and you're giving a lot of your power away to it, which is understandable. It sounds like you're really excited about him in this opportunity. So what the question is whether or not the two of you are able to plan it. It doesn't look like a very promising yes. I would lean more towards no, just because he's so guarded. But because you have a lot of time to figure that out, there isn't a lot of pressure that the universe is putting on your relationship for a decision. So I wish I had a more clear yes or no. I would lean more towards a no than a yes. But there's an opportunity for it to come to life for you as your next relationship. All right, the next one is Madeline. Yeah, if you want to ask another question, I only have one more that I'm doing right now, and it's 8:43. So there's a good chance I'll get to another question from you. So Kelsey Richards, can you please give me any advice, information, or help regarding my relationship? Of course, Kelsey. Let's take a look. We'll do another Yumi We and just see what's going on and if there is anything interesting we need to know. I'm also just going to pull out a couple angel romance cards for you. They sometimes give us a little bit of additional context or clarification. All right, so for Kelsey, advice, information, help about her current relationship. Okay, Kelsey. Okay, I'm also going to do a hidden truth for you. It's an oracle deck that I have that's really geared towards love. And sometimes it gives us some information below the surface, and it sounds like you're very confused. So it might provide a nugget that you're looking for. I kind of got a hit to use it, so we're going to use it. All right, Madeline, I see your next question, so I will get to you. Tracy says, thank you. You're welcome. Okay. So Tracy, sorry, not Tracy. This is Kelsey. Sorry. All right, Kelsey. So for your relationship, what I'm seeing here, the first message that's coming to me that Spirit is really wanting to draw your attention to is love yourself first. I see this a lot with questions that I get from women about love relationships is, giving generally the man, women are dating women too, but they give a lot of power away to the other person. And sometimes what we need to do more than anything is love ourselves. And that becomes a very attractive quality that a lot of, especially high value men, can't resist. So what Spirit wants you to do is learn to love yourself a little bit more. What I'm seeing here in terms of this relationship right now is that he is very unconcerned about what's happening. He's distracted by work and the things that are going on around him that just for whatever reason feel more important to him. He's not putting a lot of emphasis on your relationship. And that's causing you to be a little bit like sneaky and sort of trying to figure out ways to get his attention. You have a lot of energy that you're putting on him. But the truth is that it's not going to really work out the way you want it to. What I'm seeing here is the plan just not like you're not going to get the reaction out of him that you're looking for. He is a very stubborn person and is just going to kind of keep doing what he's doing. But the truth is that he doesn't really realize what's happening. He's a little clueless. What I'm seeing here in terms of additional stuff is that he's so unaware of some of the emotional issues that you're dealing with. You're on his mind a lot. And it's funny, you speak to me through music. You guys might have some special songs. And, he still feels really connected to you. His attention is just elsewhere right now. So I just want to put it out there that instead of putting a lot of energy into him, if you start to put more energy into yourself, there's a good chance that you're going to get out of this guy what you're looking for. But it's one of those catch-22s where if you put energy into yourself, you need to do it genuinely for yourself, not for another person, like an ulterior motive, because then it's not genuine. But what's really interesting about when we really do put energy into ourselves, we start to care a lot less about the original reason why we started to do it, if that makes sense. So your outcome either way is going to be amazing, because the more that you love yourself, the more that you're going to either call in the relationship that you've been wanting, or the other person is going to start to just be really attracted to you. So I hope that helps a little bit. The next question is from Madeline. Madeline says, the guy I'm currently with, will it go further or will it end up being a disappointment? Let's find out. Let's do you, me, we for this one. How long have you been together, Madeline? Kelsey Richard says, thank you. You're welcome, Kelsey. So, Madeline, how long have you been dating this person? Are you exclusive? We are getting up to time. We have about 10 minutes left. So if anybody has another question, I'm probably going to have time to do one or two more. So Go ahead and be greedy tonight, everybody. There's only, I see a few of us here, so get your questions in. Barbara, I will get to you next. I like how long your question is, too. I love information. So thank you for sharing a lot of context. We'll dig into that one in a moment. All right, so Madeline, you've been seeing each other off and on for 3 years. Okay, one of those. Sounds like it's already been a disappointment in the past, Madeline. I've been there, girl. I get it. All right, we've been seeing each other on and on for 3 years. Let's see what's going on here. So now that I have a little additional context, I'm just thinking about how I want to lay out the cards. So Madeline, I'm going to do a card for him, a card for you. I'm going to pull a card for why you keep breaking up and like getting back together. I'm going to pull a card for like what's next in this relationship, and then an outcome. Okay, so that's 5 cards. Okay, just one more quick thing. Put our intention into the cards. Here we go. All right, so a card for you and a card for him. So the card for you I have 2 reversals. They're representing the 2 of you, but then the rest of the spread actually looks very interesting and kind of promising. But the card for you I have is 3 of Swords reversed. So it's reversed, it's not upright. So it does show that like you've been brokenhearted repeatedly by him, but for some reason this time feels different. It's kind of like the do or die at this point for you in this moment. Like you've healed your heart and you're willing to open it up again because something just feels a little bit different to you this time around. For him, I have the Judgment card reversed. What the Judgment card reversed shows is some type of like stagnation. When it comes to stagnation is probably the wrong word because this is in your relationship. What he's seeing here is that like he just can't move past it. He continues to be drawn into this connection. He can't. So when the Judgment is upright, you see it's like the Archangel Michael is calling the bodies into heaven. So he's unable to move forward past you. This relationship just feels like, he's here. Why do you keep getting back together? I think that there is some shared trauma that you have that constantly just keeps you coming back. Because what I got is the Tower card in this placement. And what this means is some type of actual like shared trauma. It's really a powerful connection between the 2 of you. You feel like other people don't understand you because of this shared trauma. You literally see a man and a woman falling out from the castle in this picture. So that shared trauma is a very powerful bond. So what happens next was my question, and I have the 10 of Cups. So it looks very promising emotionally. Maybe you will finally have a very like candid, maybe this reading is helpful as a catalyst, have a very candid conversation about why you keep getting back together. What is that shared trauma that you have? And maybe like having an actual really honest and open conversation will contribute to a path forward. Because what happens next is a 10 of Cups, and that's emotional fulfillment for the both of you. It's a 9 of Cups. It's a very, very good card to get for a relationship. And then the final outcome I have is Queen of Swords. So this is like this is a positive card to get in, you know, for a future like relationship. It just shows like commanding and moving forward. So I don't think that this relationship is going to repeat its cycle. It looks like the path forward is good and strong. But you need to have that emotional conversation in order for you to be set up for the strong path forward. So do what you can to make that conversation happen. So next question, last question, is for Barbara. Hey. How does the rest of my December look? I've had some milestones coming up. The way 2020 has been looking. I also low-key want to be basic and ask if you see any D in there. Okay. That is fun. Sure. Let's see what's going on with December. How do we look at the aspects that a lot of people care about? So career, love, health, and career will be wrapped up in like money too. And we'll see if there's anything fun for you in terms of love. So for Barbara, what is her 2020 December looking like? I think I said health, but I didn't mean to say that because we can't really talk about health questions. So we're going to look at love, career, money, and is there a third thing you'd like to look at? I think those two are actually pretty good. Okay, we'll just do career or love. All right, Barb. All right, Barbara. So what I see here, Barb, is I pulled a card for you as like a theme for December, and I got the High Priestess reversed. So when the High Priestess is reversed, like the energy I'm getting from this, that might feel like, oh my goodness, no, why is she reversed? I know that you're not like a fan of reversals. But when a High Priestess is reversed, it shows that a truth is being revealed. Like it's no longer mysterious. Like something that's been percolating is going to like unveil itself. And that's like your theme of December is some just like truths kind of coming forward. So whatever it is that feels like you just haven't been able to figure it out, they're finally going to be unveiled to you. When it comes to career, I do have the Wheel of Fortune reversed. So this isn't like the best month when it comes to, like money and career, but the Wheel of Fortune's energy, it's a constant spin. So it's just kind of like, it's not right now in terms of like that stuff really like working itself out in your best favor. But with a lot of like free will and manifestation, I think you can turn that card around. And then for romance, I got the Six of Pentacles reversed. And I think that this card is telling you not to be a beggar. Literally. Like, and don't settle for something that's not like for your higher good. It's encouraging you to not worry about love right now. It's not the best place to put your energy. So I know you said you kind of want some D, but it's telling you to not worry about the D. That's been that amazing accuracy. That's what you needed to hear. Okay, good. I know sometimes it's kind of like, we just kind of want to get some of that energy out, but sex is an energy exchange. So if you're not emotionally invested into somebody, do you really want to be absorbing all of their trauma or like their issues and problems? Like, it's not worth it. Sometimes casual sex is just like not worth the outcome. I'm talking about energy. Okay, cool. Well, everyone, that is a wrap for our first ever YouTube live readings for MysticSense. I'm Katerina Nina. It's been a total pleasure doing this live with all of you. And I think that we will be doing more of these YouTubes in the future. So definitely come back. As you can see, it's a little bit more intimate as we're starting this new platform up. So, you know, do tell your friends, but definitely come back, and we can't wait to see you for the next live. Take care, everyone.